Louisiana Beer Reviews looks at Goose Island's Goose Green Line Pale Ale Hop on Board. Juicy citrus aroma and a toasted malt body. Bought this at Mathern Supermarket. It says contains wheat. I believe that's mostly a disclaimer for people that have celiac disorder because the ingredients are not talking about wheat. They're talking about special pale malt, barley malt, and then Millennium Malthood and Zythos hops. So the problem is wheat from their other brewing, the other beers they're brewing could get into it some kind of way. Kind of like when people say may contain peanuts in products. And of course, water and yeast is included in the ingredients. It gets a good score on Beer Advocate. 56 out of 100 on Rate Beer, 47 out of 100 for the style. I see that some people have done reviews of it. It's been around for a good little while. We just started getting it. I would like to watch the reviews, so that's what I'm gonna do later. Sharp looking bottle. The hops are grown for Goose Island at the Elk Mountain Farm in Bonners Ferry, Idaho. And I believe that is an Anheuser-Busch owned, if I'm not mistaken, that is an Anheuser-Busch hop farm. I know up there in Idaho and Montana they also have malting malt houses. So sort of like a vertical integration. 5.4% alcohol, 30 IBUs right on the bottle, very convenient. And born on 14th of January 2016. They got the date on the bottle, guys. And that's a good idea, and I don't think it's difficult to do. It's about 9 a.m. daylight time. Would be 8 a.m. Central, but I guess I could have done a 6 a.m. review. I was thinking about doing that. I was like, I'm not motivated to do that as sort of like a prank or a parody, something like that. Just like I've done actually 5 a.m. reviews. I did a review. Hearing some sirens, praying for them. I did a 5 a.m. review for 5 a.m. Saint from Brewdog. And I think I did one review one time. It was like 4 something a.m. Just, I wanted to beat it before 5. Beat the deadline, I guess, the 5 a.m. deadline. I wanted to say I had done a review at 4 something a.m. That was sort of like just a novelty. I do a lot of those things for effect. You probably noticed that. So, well, I'll try not to do any affectations with this, but oftentimes let the silliness come in. Thick white head, very creamy, foamy, even spongy on the sides. It's golden, it's bubbly, and I do see some. That sounds like a bad wreck. We get a lot. I've commented on this before. We get a lot of bad wrecks around here on U.S. Highway 61, and then there's the junction where they come together, 61 and 51 there, just east of here. So they tend to have wrecks there, and then Interstate 10, you probably wouldn't hear sirens for them, but you might hear them going towards Interstate 10. So it's kind of a high travel area, so you get that. So we have the white yeast chunks. It smells grainy, musty, a little, how do I describe it? Not funky. Having a little trouble with this. Pungent, maybe. It's got a lot of aroma. It's bready, like, I don't want to say moldy bread. It's not that, but it's so difficult to describe these beers sometimes. It's got sort of a bold aroma, really. You may or may not like it. I'm not sure if I like that aroma either. As you can see, it's extremely overcast today. It'll probably be about a 50% chance of rain. We've been getting up into the low to mid 80s, so warm to very warm lately. And you may be able to tell it's extremely humid. Bready, biscuity, bready. A little bitterness at the end of the sip. Let me see here. Juicy citrus aroma. Don't actually pick up any juice or citrus at all. Toasted malty body. Okay. Yeah. Toasty malt, pale malt. I'm getting that. The beer is only 2 months old, so it's not stale. If there's citrus, it's a shadow of it. There's bitterness, and it's creeping up. It's coming into play here, 30 IBU. The mouth feels medium. It's not light-bodied. It's a fairly crisp finish. It's easy drinking. It really does remind me, this might sound craziness. And we're also on the flight path of many airlines going into the New Orleans International Airport. They'll make a turn here. Right here above my house, they make that turn. If they're coming from the east, I guess, depending on what runway, and then they'll make that turn and then head back east towards the that runway that sort of parallel to US 61. Okay, but anyway. Yeah, a little fruit coming into play, like with the hops. It's reminding me of Foster's ale. Used to call it Foster's Extra Bitter, whatever they used to call it, the Foster's ESB sort of thing. Although ESBs usually have the copper color. I don't know. I have some cheese and crackers. My stomach is empty. I need to eat more. It is more alike than unlike the Foster's Premium Ale. And that's 5.5. This is 5.4. And the IBU on that Foster's is probably similar. I don't have an IBU number on that, but similar to this. So I think they're comparable, yes. Many times you can get that beer. It's $1.79, $1.89 in the 25.4 ounce cans at a lot of local stores in the singles, but apparently it's only sold in those cans, no bottles. But they'll have sales at these stores, 2 for $3, 2 cans for $3. So that's a great value, even for $1.89. It's a good value relative to this. I paid $1.79 for this single bottle, just to sample it. So I think it is nice. It's an interesting beer. I don't think it, and I've been trying to pay close attention to this lately. Does the beer match up to what the company's saying? I'm not picking up any of this fruity citrus aroma that they're talking about. No, mostly just yeast and bread and some strange funkiness, and which is not that unlike the Foster's Ale, and a little low level to moderate bitterness. Once again, like the Foster's, same body, similar finish. So that's a shock. I wasn't expecting. This is nothing like, pale ale. Forget Sierra Nevada Pale Ale or Dale's Pale Ale. I mean, it's similar in appearance, but really it is in no way similar in flavor and aroma. I mean, it's so much different than alike than those two. So this is an oddity in that sense. So I'm a little confused on the style. But it's nice, and I would say they're saying good on Beer Advocate. It is good. Great Beer's giving it a much worse score. Yeah, I'll go with B+. And I think the Foster's is now that they come out with the new labels, I think it's not no longer using the color added, the food coloring. I'm going to check I might go to Mathern's today and buy a can. I'm going to check on that. I believe that is no longer the case. So, yeah. Laissez-les Bon Temps Relais, a B+, but just remember, you can get the Foster's ale quite a bit cheaper per ounce, and it's possibly a little better, really, frankly, I have to say. So, all right, I'm glad I tried it, and I have the 4-star pills coming up next. So, Laissez-les Bon Temps Relais once again. Get a little of this onion here. It does pair well with this. And y'all come on down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana.